What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be Claws, Season 2, Episode 8. So first of all, I neglected to say something really important with my last review. They finally explained why it was so important for Haitian doctor to marry Desna. And what it is that with the prescription pill clinics, you have to have certain paperwork in place. And of course, to be able to run a clinic, you can't have a record, you have to be a citizen, like all these different things. Nobody else in the crew fits the bill. Desna is the only person that can open up these clinics. And so they need to keep her alive long enough to open up the clinics that they want her to open. And then what they were going to do was the Haitian doctor was going to marry Desna and then kill her, and then he would be able to, the paperwork, the way of how they explained it, he would then have the right to open up the clinics under her power of attorney, I guess, or something like that. Or they were going to keep her alive long enough to open up the clinics and then kill her because they didn't need her anymore. And they want to open up, like, I think 8 or 9 clinics altogether or something like that. So, my bad, y'all. That was a really important piece that I forgot to say last week. That's what happens when you wait forever to do the reviews. But so this episode opens up with them looking for Desna. They know Desna's gotten arrested. They just don't know where she is. And if you've ever been arrested, it takes a while for them to get you in the system. You know what I mean? It's not like automatic. And so they can't find her. They're calling everywhere and they don't know exactly where she is. Dean is freaking out, of course, and he's stressed out. Zlata finds out that she believes the setup. She believes that her boy was actually stole the drugs and was selling the drugs. And so, she knows that Haitian doctor is going to blame her and going to try to come after her. So she tries to make amends for it. She acknowledges that he did it. She apologizes. She lets him know, look, this wasn't part of no big plan. This was just him. He was doing his own thing. He wasn't working with us, and trying to get him to believe it. Here's the thing, y'all. And I told y'all this shit weeks ago. Shirley Ralph, a.k.a. his mama, she in on the whole thing. She's really the fucking queen pin. And she's telling him what to do. And she was like, look, don't no lieutenant move without the boss's permission. She was like, she know what's up. She know what he was doing. And she's the one that betrayed you. And you was so caught up in getting a little piece of her hoo-ha-ha that you lost sight of the business and you done got caught up. And you done fell for her, and she was like, she Russian. You can't trust no Russians. And so, of course, now he all like, yeah, you right. I'm a get her. I'm a get her. I'm a get her. Yeah, whatever. So back to the lecture at hand. So then we see that Arlene is talking to Desna. So she's revealed herself she arrested Desna, so she'd already revealed herself. And Desna's like, so you lying to Anne? Like, all of this is just a game to you? And, of course, Arlene is trying to play the Dean card, talking about what about your brother? Let me help you, blah, blah, blah. Now, Desna should have just been, like, lawyer from day one. Like, I don't even understand why she entertained them. I mean, she didn't tell him anything, but why you even having a conversation with them? Like, the first thing out your mouth should have been lawyer, and the last thing out your mouth should have been now. But anyways, she doesn't tell him anything, and she ends up being booked, getting ready for her arraignment. Now, while she's in lockup, now y'all let me know, because I don't remember. I wasn't sure. Is this chick that she talking to, was that her real estate agent? Was that the lady that was supposed to be hooking her up with the new salon on the rich side of town? Was that her? I think it was. But either way, she done ran into a meth truck, and she done turned into, she said coke, but she looked like a meth head to me. But either way, she is done. And she's talking to Desna, and Desna is like, girl, you need to get yourself together. And Desna is like really freaking out because this shit is real now. It was all fun and games when you knew you was a criminal, but you wasn't getting caught and you was living, a pretty decent life or whatever. But now the shit's getting real, and you sitting there like, okay, lawyer, like you should have already had a lawyer on retainer. Like, there's a lot of stuff you should have already had in place knowing your ass was a criminal. Neither here nor there. She's waiting on her arraignment. I'm sorry, y'all. Desna is able to make a phone call back to the shop to let them know where she is And she tells him enough. Now, she doesn't tell him about Arlene over the phone, but she does tell them, look, somebody's wearing a wire, and that's how they got me. They heard my name over a wire. Somebody in the crew is wearing a wire. So they all run outside, and she tells Polly, she said, it's go time. Now, they do have enough that there is a code that when it's go time, that means it's time to shred the records. It's trying to clean up. It's time to put the plan in place for if the feds come. So they in the back shredding records. They done went outside to have a little meeting outside, because she was like, the shop could be wired. Like, we don't know who has a wire or where the wire is. Why she gonna try to blame Ann? Talking about something. You really have been mad at Desna. Ann was like, don't even go there. Because once Ann found out Desna was arrested, she came back. She's still mad, but she came back. Because, that's still her girl. She still got love for her. Dean is like, look, all of y'all are tripping. All of this is because Desna has been making some bad decisions. Y'all don't have, because they were like, we got it under control, Dean. We got it under control. He was like, no, you don't. Y'all don't have none of this under control. You thought you had it under control, and that's what ended. That's how we all ended up in this mess to begin with. Don't none of y'all had this under control. I'll handle it. But ain't nobody go after him. Now, in my mind, I was like, y'all need to go after Dean, because who knows what the hell Dean getting ready to do. Y'all just let him walk off. The fuck? Now, luckily for them, the only thing Dean tried to do was he done took his little money from stripping in the brown paper bag and went down to the police station to try to get Desna out. And the police officer, not understanding that Dean has a disability and not understanding the situation, he sets Dean off basically. He's like, look, you can't see her. And Dean was like, I got a right to see her. That's my sister. I'm here to bail her out. Here's my money from dancing. And, then the guy tells him, he's like, you get out of here before I arrest you too. Dean was like, you can't arrest me. I ain't done nothing wrong. But, he's, again, not understanding the disability, or not caring to understand really the disability and what have you. So Dean gets set off, and of course they kick him out of the police station. He touches him, which sets Dean off. So Dean is way over here now. He mad. He done went to work. He dancing. He making extra tips because he mad. Meaning he dancing extra hard, and he just not really understanding how to process this whole situation. Like, he is really, really having a moment. Bryce's surgery went really well, but. And him and Jen are working, like I said, they working things out. They want to get back together. And Jen talking about he going to do a TED Talk. Because I guess that's his dream, to do a TED Talk. So he's dreaming about him doing his TED Talk. And his TED Talk talking about overcoming addiction and adversity, and how him and his family had to overcome these horrible things. And all of a sudden, in the middle of his dream, here come Hank. Hank talking about some, yeah, and when you hit his wife right and do it like this, like, he's really like, fucking with him in his dream. And Bryce is like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you in my dream? He was like, well, I had to take care of your wife because she was lonely, and you was on your gangster shit. You wasn't paying attention to her. He was like, and I know how to cornroll too. Talking about taking care of the baby, right? The black baby. So, of course, Bryce wakes up. He's screaming. He wakes up. But who's standing in his hospital room is Hank, the real Hank. And he done drugged Bryce. He done put some extra, drip in his drip. And Bryce passes out. But when he wakes up, he calls Jen. He's like, Joe, Hank was in my hospital room. Like, this dude is really tripping. And Jen was like, you are hallucinating. They giving you too many drugs. I'm going to talk to the doctors about bringing your drug intake down. And he was like, no, I wasn't high. Like, I know what happened. Like, he really was in my room. And they come to find out, she starts looking around, and all the pictures around the house that were her and Bryce now have a picture of Hank over Bryce's face. So she knows that Bryce is in the house. She knows that Hank's been in the house. She go downstairs. Who in the kitchen cooking dinner? That damn crazy ass Hank. Talking about, it's going to be me and you together. I'm here to save you. I love you. I'm waiting for the kids to come home. And then we're going to Israel. Do what? Say what? How? Who? We going where? What? Because remember, Hank is Jewish. And for those of y'all who don't know, anybody who's Jewish, you automatically have Israeli citizenship if you're a Jewish person. So he can go to Israel. Like, no problems. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if he marries Jen, no problem. So in his mind, that's what they about to do. They about to just go be a family, be together, live happily ever after. It's a mess. It is a mess. So the other thing that's going on is um, the little girl that Polly has, her mother is coming back into town to see her, talking about she's changed and she's clean and all that. And y'all know how Polly is. Polly don't like that shit. And Polly was like, your mother sold you for 2 Gucci bags. Like, remember that. And she's an addict and she's a liar. So we see where the mother does actually come in and they talk, and you can see that the girl is torn. Like, she loves her mom, but she also knows that her mom is some shit. Like, you can see that she's really torn and torn with dealing with the situation. We'll see that probably becomes and Polly ends up putting her out the house, but that becomes a bigger issue later on down the line. All right, Uncle Daddy trying to sell these drugs. And Roller lets Uncle Daddy know, look, Desna done got arrested. We got to hurry up and get rid of this shit because the block is hot. Like, we need to really take care of this. And so he said he's going to call in, his folks from up north. Now, remember, last season, the dude, I want to say his Atlanta connection. Was it Atlanta, y'all? Remember the dude ended up dying, the dude with the silent stick or the talking stick, and he was all like kumbaya and yin and yang. Remember, he got killed. But was it Bryce that killed him or Roller killed? Anyway, somebody in the family killed him. But that's who they trying to connect with them to sell these drugs. Roller goes to visit Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken is losing it because he knows Desna's been arrested, and his thing was, it wasn't my intention for Desna to get arrested. I thought they was going after the Russians, and they had information on the Russians. Why they arrested Desna, I don't know. But he's freaking out now because Desna's been arrested, and he is like, oh my gosh, and they know there's a wire. So he's like, oh shoot, they know there's a wire. Desna, he's losing it. Like, he's drinking my Lance about a gallon. And Roller is like, he not giving out no scripts. He got all the crackheads in the lobby, the clinic, like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, look, I just ain't giving out no scripts today. Because he know, like, it's a fly in here. He know the block is hot. Roller is like, look, you need to go on and write out some scripts and get rid of these people about this lobby before it's a problem. And I'm going to need you to calm your ass down. And whatever the hell is wrong with you, I'm going to need you to get it together. And Dr. Ken is like, well, Desna was arrested. And he was like, I understand that. But this is going to look even more obvious if we just shut everything down. He was like, just don't overprescribe nobody, but go on and get these people up out of here. Oh, Lord. That damn Dr. Ken. He ain't made for this. He ain't built for this life. So, Desna goes for her arraignment. And my girl is her lawyer, Fortune theme. So anyway, she's a comedian. I remember her way back in the days of Chelsea Lately. She used to be on before Chelsea Handler went to Netflix. She had a show on, was it E! Entertainment? But anyway, that used to be my shit back in the day. But Feemster, Fortune was one of the comedians on there. But she comes in, she plays Desna's lawyer, because Desna's trying to plead her own case because the lawyer never showed up, talking about how she's a good girl, and she just takes care of her disabled brother, and she gotta go take care of him, and she hasn't done anything wrong. She's just a business owner. And the judge is kind of buying it, but the judge is like, ma'am, this isn't the time or the place for that. And so the prosecutor was going to actually give her some extra time to get a lawyer, although, it was going to keep her locked up. And she was like, I can't wait. I need to get out of here. So that's when Fortune shows up. And she's able to get her out on a $500,000 bail, which means $50,000. Desna's like, I ain't got that kind of money. And she thinks this is Polly's lawyer, because Polly was going to send her a lawyer. So she thinks this is Polly's lawyer that showed up. And she said, Fortune was like, don't worry about it. We got you. And she was like, well, where did Polly get $50,000 from? Who pull up? Zlata. Now, Zlata done got Desna out of jail. She got Polly's lawyer back up in the trunk. Feemster is her lawyer. Honey. All this is going on. The FBI done raided the salon. The good news is, remember, they done shredded all the records. They done cleaned out the salon. The drugs are gone out of the salon and all of that. So the good news is the salon is clean, but the bad news is, it's getting worse. Like, they're raiding the salon and all this other stuff. While that's going on, Uncle Daddy, the people that showed up to come and make the deal with Uncle Daddy, but they try to rob Uncle Daddy. And they're like, y'all killed my father, because it's the son of the dude that got killed. He was like, y'all killed my father. Y'all in bed with the Russians. We can't trust y'all. They were like, no, no, no. The Russians robbed us. Like, we not voluntarily working with the Russians. The Russians kidnapped me and robbed me. Like, Uncle Daddy talks him down. And he was like, well, y'all didn't reach out to us. Roller was like, what the hell you talking about? We've been trying to reach out to y'all for months. Y'all ain't been responding. So old dude was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's true. So they kind of talked them down, and they like, look, if we all work together, we can get rid of them and make America great again. So they convinced them, they convinced them that the Russians killed his father, which, like I said, we know who really killed his father. So they're all working together now, and they're going to try to take over the Russians. So they working that out. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Uncle Daddy's boyfriend dancing to Crossroads, and hilarious. It was hilarious. So Zlata and Desna, they in the car together now. Zlata back against the wall. She knows that Dr. Haitian is coming for her. She was like, I know he's not. I know he don't believe me. I know that he's coming for me. I know that, I only bought myself a temporary pass by apologizing and telling him that I was sorry or whatever. But he coming for me. So she comes clean to Desna. She was like, look, Dr. Haitian is really a drug dealer, and me and him been in cahoots the whole time behind your back. And Desna plays her ass off. She asks her ass. She was like, what? So you been lying to me? Are you serious right now? I can't believe it. Like, she is giving it to him, right? And she acts her ass off. And even to the point where she got Zlata feeling like she owes Desna, like, I'm so sorry, like, I owe you, I apologize, like, but we need to work together because, we need to get him, we need to work together to basically work against him. And, Desna's like, I just can't believe y'all did this to me. Like, she is playing it up. But of course, obviously, the whole time she knew. So, while all this is going on, it was a lot this episode. Jen is able to get word to Bryce that Hank is in the house. Like, she pretends like she's calling in a pizza. She really calls Bryce. And Bryce is like, he's there? Oh, man. So so now he playing Superman, getting out the bed. Now, mind you, he could barely walk last episode, but he getting out of the bed. And he gonna get over to the house. He calls the good news is he does call the police on his way. He don't try to play, Big Willie, but he on his way to go save Jen. Desna gets to the salon. Everybody's at the salon, and she's telling everybody, look, we got lots of where we want her. Like, she's admitted to me that she was doing all this behind my back. We got her right where we want her, and I can work this to my advantage. And Ann is like, I don't believe this. I don't believe you. I don't believe this. Like, we've been going through all this, and you still playing this game with her? And Desna was like, what are you talking about? Like, we finally have the upper hand. And Ann is like, yo, I'm out of here. So Desna drops it on her. She was like, well, Arlene is lying to you. Arlene is the person that arrested me. And of course, Ann is like, I don't believe you. Arlene works, she's a security guard. Like, I picked her up from work. She was a uniform. Desna was like, I don't know what the fuck she been doing, but I'm going to tell you, she was the one that arrested me, and she's working for them. Like, I'm telling you, I don't have no reason to lie to you. And of course, at first, Ann was like, I don't believe you, but finally, she realizes that Desna is telling her the truth. So, of course, she's devastated, and she goes to confront Arlene. She confronts Arlene, and Arlene don't deny it. Arlene don't back down. Arlene don't apologize. She was like, if you waiting for me to drop down on my knees and beg your forgiveness, that's just not going to happen. Like, I had to join this task force to get my job back that you tried to take from me. So if you wait for an apology, that just ain't going to happen. And Ann was like, I can't be with somebody that lies to me. Arlene was like, all right, well, there's the door. I felt so bad for Ann because she was like, you and your friends are criminals. Like, you acting all self-righteous, and y'all are the fucking crooks. And I just felt really bad for Ann because, y'all know Ann just love that woman, and she been trying to get out. Like, she really been trying to get out. She just want to be with her woman and have a baby. That's it. That's all she want. That's all she want. All right. Back at the house. Ken confesses to Polly. which doesn't go well at all, for obvious reasons. Polly cusses him out, tells him to get out. I can't believe you did this to us. Da 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 da. Now, what's she gonna do with that information from this point forward? I don't know. Virginia goes to Dean. This was probably one of the better scenes. Like I said, Karuchi girl, you doing the damn thing. She goes to Dean at the dance at the bar, and she was like, Dean, are you okay? What's going on? And Dean was like, I'm not okay. Like, I don't like this. I don't like these decisions that Desna's making. She keeps making bad decisions. She keeps breaking the law, and I don't like it. And they talk, and Virginia is able to really talk him down. She does. She is so good with him. She's able to talk him down and get him to calm down, get him to to really process the whole thing. And she was like, Dean, I got you. Like, I'm here. I got you, baby. I got you. It was so good. But Dean decides he's got to move out the house. Him and Virginia are going to get their own place. He tells Desna, I can't do this. I can't sit here in this house and watch you keep making these bad decisions and keep screwing up your life. Me and Virginia, we're going to find somewhere else to go. We're moving out. And of course, that fucks with Desna a lot. But she lets him go. I mean, not that she can stop him, but she doesn't physically, she tries to convince him to stay. But when she realizes that his mind is made up, she's like, okay, well, okay. Bryce shows up at the house with the police, and they save the day. They able to get Hank, and they all in love. They back in love, Oh, I love you, baby. I think that's pretty much where we are. I want to make sure I got it all. It was a lot. This was a lot. This episode. A lot of pieces are falling down, around, up, in, out. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, ultimately, we got, Desna is in a really good spot because she goes in. Oh, that's where we leave off. She actually goes in to Zlata and tells her, look, I'm going to work with you, but just know that I don't trust you anymore because of what you did to me. And she actually negotiates with her because she knows what's up. She has all the pieces now. Well, most of the pieces now. And so she knows what's up. And she negotiates the amount of clinics that they're going to open, even though she got a trick for that. I don't know what the trick is yet, but she got a trick. And, I guess how they're going to deal with Dr. Haitian. So we'll see where it picks up next week. But, y'all, it was a lot this episode. It was a really good episode, but a lot went on, a lot went down. All right, drop it in the comments. We caught up on claws. We caught up on claws. All right, peace.